All right, listen up, everyone. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're putting on our fight coach hats and completely shattering a massive illusion that is, quite frankly, holding back your physical potential. We're talking about the one exercise literally almost everyone thinks they already know, but almost nobody actually does correctly. Yep, the push-up. You see it everywhere, right? People dropping down before bed, grinding out reps in hotel rooms, always using the exact same hand placement, the exact same range of motion, and the exact same tired movement for months, sometimes even years. And the result? Well, their chest stays just fine. Not powerful, not explosive, just fine. Well, today we're gonna eliminate those weak strikes and that rapid fatigue. We are completely weaponizing the push-up to transform your entire body in just weeks. So let's consider the harsh truth about your standard push-up. It's really just one hand position, one angle, and one movement pattern. It only trains one highly specific version of your chest, shoulders, and triceps. And the rest of your muscles? They're completely ignored. And as we know in the fight game, ignored muscles don't grow, they just wait. But here's the secret. The push-up isn't just one exercise. It's actually a collection of 10 distinct weapons. When you recruit the full body, you introduce this massive mental challenge and build genuine explosive combat power. If you only ever pick up one of these weapons, the other 9 are literally just gathering dust. But that changes right now. To get you there, we're organizing this training camp into a really clear progression. Phase 1 is foundational power. Phase 2 covers combat stability, and we'll finish strong with Phase 3, advanced strength. If we map out all 10 weapons and the primary combat muscles they target, it breaks down pretty cleanly. You've got variations like the wide push-up hitting the pecs, the narrow zeroing in on the triceps and inner chest, and the pike going straight for the shoulders and traps. Just keep this general blueprint in the back of your mind, because we are about to break down exactly how to execute every single one of these to maximize your explosive strength. Okay, let's step right into Phase 1, foundational power. We're kicking things off with Weapon 1, the wide push-up. Now, the absolutely crucial concept here is expansion. You want to move those hands out wider than shoulder width and push. Immediately, you'll feel the pecs stretch further. Way more muscle fibers are forced to fire. It's like a locked door swinging wide open for your range of motion. Wider hands mean wider recruitment across the whole surface of the chest, not just the middle. But listen closely to this coaching cue. This is important. Do not go too wide. We need reasonable width and perfectly controlled movement on every single rep so we protect those shoulders from injury. This right here is your foundation for heavier strikes. Let's move to our next weapon and see how this builds. Weapon 2 is the narrow push-up. You're gonna bring those hands close together right beneath the chest and drive straight down. The entire point here is isolation. The narrow push-up brutally targets the triceps and the inner chest with laser precision. There's no cheating here, no escape. There are no secondary muscles stepping in to steal the work. It is just focused, brutal tension exactly where you need it to carve out structural power. Honestly, this is the difference between a chest that just looks built and an upper body that possesses the sculpted, snapping power needed for a truly devastating jab. Next up in Phase 1 is Weapon 3, the Sphinx push-up. Now, if you've been kind of ignoring your triceps, this is gonna be a massive wake-up call. You actually start down in a forearm plank, and from there, you press your entire body up into a full push-up position. This targets the triceps in a way almost nothing else can. It builds that critical tricep power that the standard push-up completely leaves behind. The result? Arms that don't just look strong, but have massive structural power behind every single push and strike. It's the ultimate upgrade the standard routine never even knew it needed. All right, moving right along to Phase 2, combat stability. Weapon 4 is the T push-up. If you thought push-ups only moved strictly up and down, well, you were wrong. Here's how it works. You lower down normally, push up explosively, and right at the top of the rep, you lift one arm toward the sky, rotating your entire body to follow it. Boom. Your core has to brace instantly. Your obliques engage heavily. Suddenly, your shoulders are stabilizing against gravity from a completely new, unpredictable angle. By the end of a set of T push-ups, you're gonna feel muscles waking up that have literally been sleeping for years. And remember, that isn't discomfort you're feeling. That is progress knocking on the door, building up your defensive stability, which beautifully sets up our next tool, Weapon 5, the single leg push-up. You lift one foot off the ground, hold it there, and push. Instantly, your core and glutes have to engage far harder than in any standard push-up just to maintain a neutral spine under that pressure. Balance becomes this massive challenge. Stability actually becomes the hidden workout inside the workout. This isn't just an upper body exercise anymore, guys. This forces your entire body to work together as a single unbreakable unit under pressure. Just make sure you switch sides to give both legs equal time in the fire.
Rounding out our stability phase is weapon 6, the push-up row. We are essentially turning a pushing exercise into a complete upper body grappling tool. You add dumbbells under each hand. At the top of every push-up, you pull one dumbbell back toward the hip, driving the elbow back, engaging the lat, and squeezing the back. Then you hit the other side. The push-up row creates what I like to call a full upper body conversation. The back, the shoulders, the core, they're all contributing. You're no longer just pushing an opponent away. You are pulling toward greatness, really developing the heavy grips required for intense clinch work.
Welcome to the final round, Phase 3, Advanced Strength. Weapon 7 is the commando push-up, sometimes called the Russian push-up, and things are getting really serious here. This combines a standard push-up with an elbow plank, and the transition between the two is where the real work lives. You perform a standard push-up, lower down to the forearms into a plank, press back up, and go back down. Your chest, triceps, core, and shoulders are all getting hit simultaneously. Maintaining constant core tension while transitioning between a static hold and dynamic movement, that perfectly mimics the chaotic, real-world strength you need in the later rounds of a bout. I want you to think of this as muscular chess. Every move requires a decision. Every rep requires control. When you're executing the commando push-up, it's honestly just as much a mental challenge as a physical one. You are forcing your body to push past fatigue when every single muscle fiber is begging you to quit. That level of control under extreme exhaustion is exactly what separates a novice from a true champion.
Which brings us perfectly to weapon 8, the up and down push-up. This right here is your ultimate stamina weapon. You start in a high plank, drop to a forearm plank, and return to a high plank. You repeat this while enforcing strict, uncompromising core engagement. The absolute key here is preventing your hips from sagging. You simply cannot collapse in the middle of the movement. It demands sustained, grinding endurance. It's the kind of character-building exercise that only works if you totally refuse to quit when things get intensely uncomfortable.
Weapon 9 demands that we slow everything way down. This is the isometric progression push-up. And the rules are pretty brutal. You pause halfway down, then you pause near the bottom, just hovering above the floor, and you hold perfectly still under screaming tension. Most people completely rush through the hardest parts of a push-up. This weapon, it forces you to live there on purpose. You are purposely staying in the weakest positions to build unbreakable, explosive strength. Your arms will shake. Oh, they'll shake for sure. But remember the cardinal rule. That shaking is not failure. That is the muscle finally waking up. This weapon severely rewards patience. And finally, weapon 10. We saved this for last because it's a promise of what comes next. The pike push-up. Think about the alignment here. Your hips are high, your body forms a triangle with the floor, and you drive straight down. The pike push-up shifts the load entirely toward the shoulders, loading up the deltoids, the traps, and the upper chest in a way a regular flat push-up absolutely never reaches. This builds massive overhead shoulder strength from the ground up. Listen, if you want to keep your guard high when you're completely gassed in the final round, you need the shoulder domination that this specific drill provides. So we come to the end of our explainer with one final, very important question. Now that you've seen the blueprint, are you going to let the other 9 weapons gather dust? Or are you ready to actually transform your entire body for the fight? It's time to leave the standard static routines behind. Take these 10 weapons, apply them to your training camp, and unlock your true combat potential. Keep pushing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.